When I was a kid, I hung out a lot by the fall with this girl named Katie. I honestly didn't like Katie at all. She was dumber than a bag of hammers and annoyed me most of the time. But she and I were both outcasts, so we kinda had no choice but to befriend each other. Katie was always doing things that were marvels of stupidity. I am honestly amazed that she made it to adulthood, given how little regard she had for her own safety or other people's. She also lied all the time. The poor child was a real piece of work. When we were about 10, we went out trick-or-treating together. We went by ourselves as my neighborhood was generally pretty safe, and I, at least, was smart enough not to do anything spectacularly dangerous, so our parents were fine with us going out. Just the two of us, as long as we were back by 9. Everything was fine until we got to one particular house at the end of the long street. It didn't look stand out in any way, but there were no Halloween decorations of any kind, just a porch light on. We decided to try it for candy. There were no other kids around at the time, just us. A man in his 50s opened the door, and we said, "Trick or treat." He looked around for a moment, realized we had no parents with us, and said, "Why don't the two of you come inside and show me a few tricks, and then we'll see about treats." Katie, dipshit that she was, immediately said, "Okay," and stepped through the doorway. I grabbed her and hauled her back out onto the porch and said, "No way, you creep," and dragged her away from the house. She protested the whole time, saying she thought he had good candy and even claiming, eventually, that she knew the man, that he was a personal friend of her family, so she knew he wouldn't hurt us. Keep in mind, this was my neighborhood, not hers. So it wasn't like she or her family had any familiarity with this guy. I said, "If you know him, then what's his name?" She couldn't come up with anything, so I just rolled my eyes and kept dragging her back toward my house. The following year, she wanted to go trick-or-treating with me again, but I told her she was on her own. I wasn't going to be responsible for saving her from rape and or murder anymore. If she was too dense to avoid obvious peril, then that was on her, not me. Creepy neighbor who wanted to molest children on Halloween, let's not meet again. What is with creeps who want to invite kids inside their houses? This happened to me almost every year of my childhood. There was the one creeper who tried to bait kids inside. One time, I was ahead of some younger kids, and there was this one house. No one liked the people inside, but free candy was free candy. Me and my friend get up to the door and knock. We see a lot of old people, mostly men, inside. There's no Halloween decorations in sight, and the lone woman says, "You kids have to come inside to get your treats." A toddler, a little kid in a Scooby-Doo costume, was about to step through, but I got in front and told them no, that no kid was going to get past him, and told my friend to go up and tell their parents. There was just something really suspicious about there being roughly 5 old men and one older woman waiting for kids and telling them to come inside. They tried to argue with me, and I told her, "You can't make kids come inside your house. That's against all the rules our parents tell us. That's creepy. You either bring it to the door, or I go up there and tell all those parents your demand." As it was a bunch of really little kids, all their parents were waiting by the end of the long walkway. They did as I said, and we didn't even get any candy. It was all religious paraphernalia. If they weren't planning on raping us, they were at least planning on indoctrinating us. Either way, I was pissed, and my friend had to calm me down. It was just really, really creepy, and never set well with me. Those people never set well with me 364 days of the year, and it didn't set well with me that night. Just alarm bells wouldn't stop going off, and when some of the parents asked us what the holdup was, we told them, and a lot of them just glared at these people. They promised to tell anyone they ran into with kids to not go to that house. I personally wanted to egg them. My friend talked me out of it. This is totally true. Maybe not very spectacular, but a creepy thought nonetheless. When I was in high school, the drama department set up a haunted house for Halloween. It was generally pretty mediocre. For a play they had recently done, they had a cable hanging from the stage ceiling, to which you could wear a harness and hang there. To the cable was attached a fake noose for a scene, in which somebody was hung in the play. Only fake in that it didn't cinch up when you put weight on it, but it also didn't have any give. Basically, as long as the harness held you up, the noose fell loose around your neck. Really a stupid idea in retrospect. Naturally, this was implemented into the haunted house, and I volunteered to play a hanging trick-or-treater. I wore a dinosaur outfit and a mask, held a bag of candy, pretended to be dead, and hang there. At one point, I took a break as the harness was riding up in no places, and while I was gone, some retards took the liberty of grabbing the noose and swinging around the stage from it. This somehow tightened the noose without my knowledge, and when I returned, I put the mask on, stepped on a ladder, connected my harness, put the noose around my neck, and let myself hang. The noose tightened around my neck, cutting off the circulation and air, and immediately I began to black out. I felt myself falling asleep comfortably, and only after a few seconds did it occur to me what was happening. I suddenly remembered that I was hanging there, and blindly reached out for the ladder. I pulled myself onto it and relieved the pressure on my throat. My nerves were going nuts, and I was shaking and my head hurt, so I stood there for a moment, took off the noose and harness, and walked away. I'm certain I could have easily hung myself accidentally then and there, and it's clear what would have resulted. Every year, new students would recount the legend of the one drama student that hung there for hours in the school's haunted house while families paraded past him, unaware that the dead trick-or-treater they were oogling was actually dead. He was only to be discovered by his poor girlfriend at the end of the night. Despite consistent denial by faculty, the legend would persist. Thanks guys for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed all these Halloween themed videos for the month of October. Starting next Tuesday, I may decide to add in another type of video. It would be the type of video that would be recounting things like unsolved mysteries and most famous serial killers. I'm hoping something like that could maybe bring in some more people into the channel. I'll keep my fingers crossed on that one. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like as each like helps. I also encourage those of you who haven't already to subscribe, so you'll see all my videos the moment they go live every Tuesday and Thursday night. You can also check out my most recent video to get yourself started, along with all of my playlists. With that being said, I'll see you guys next Tuesday for another video, and I hope you all have a happy and safe Halloween.